Hey, hi everyone. It is so good to be back. The last time we talked to you in the field, the wind chill was below freezing and my hands couldn't work. I was so cold. And we are actually in the official summer now. So real quickly, you had a scan of where we're going in. The corn is probably about as high as we want to walk. And I just want to talk to you about getting yourself ready to head to the field. Getting your brain, telling your brain what to think. Obviously Flint, but these are hammerstones that came out of this field. I've been in this field 3 times already, late spring, early summer. The right shape, pretty much the right color. And when these came out, they were pretty much dirty and sandy. I took them home, washed them off, and like, okay, this is definitely a hammerstone. And this one, if you look at it, the lateral sides, you can see that they've been altered. Okay, let me show you a couple more real quick. They can be big hammers, they can be hard stone hammers, but they can also be flint hammers. Flint, and you can see all the pounding that's gone on here. And this one is just an absolute delight. Flint that's been pounded to where it's perfectly round. Probably they couldn't use it anymore. And like others, they just gave them a pitch. So we are just about ready to hop in the field. I want to give you a couple last minute pointers. You can tell your brain what you want it to do. If you don't, it's going to lead you down all kinds of paths. So I'm already telling my brain, look for rocks, look for rocks, look for round rocks, look for stone tools. The flint is here. And today my focus is on more tools. And equipment, very simple. Ball cap, keep the sun out of your eyes. No sunglasses, these just are natural tint in my glasses. Dress comfortably. I wear tennis shoes when I go in the field. And then finally, because of the volume of material that's coming out of here, up to this point I've been getting 3 or 4 1-gallon bags filled with flint. So I need something to carry it out of the field. I use a camouflage bucket. That way if people look at me out in the field, they don't know exactly what's cooking. And finally, a trowel, because you've got to turn stuff. So putting all that together, walking slowly, having fun, we'll see what happens. And when we're all done, we'll take a look at what we found today. See you in a minute. It's one of those deals where you look over your shoulder and you say, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. Well, follow my hand and look at the ground by my bucket. And what you're going to see is a plant called nettles. And this is a stinging nettle, and it's a real pain, and it grows along the roadsides. You need to be aware of the flora in your area. If you get stung by these, there's another plant called jewelweed, and if you rub the juice of jewelweed on your leg where you got stung, it'll neutralize it. So follow me over here for a second and look what's just in the field. Here we go. And here, look at all the flint. Here's some more right here. 1, 2, 3. Let's come over here. Here's Flint. Here's Flint. That could be a core. I'm going to look him over. And this could be a hammer, but it is not. All right, we're going to go walk. I just like you guys so much, I can't stay away. Getting ready to start. I just wanted you to take a look at what we're dealing with. So here's the corn. You can see how far apart it is. And don't bite off more than you can chew. So if you look at where we're getting ready to go up the hill here, I'm going to look at one row where my feet are and try to catch part of the second row. I'm not going to go 3 rows out because there's just too much stuff. So we're getting ready again in my camouflage bucket. We find a lot of stuff, and we're going to stop here a couple times as we pick up stuff to let you see what's going on. Okay, stay with us. The work that was going on in this field by our prehistoric people was basically right at the crest of the hill. Some people worked on one side, some people worked on the other side. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk through what I call little fields of flint. We got one in front of us. It's just now starting. So if I look down, I can see a flake right here. Here's another flake. Here's another flake right out here. This one is not going home with me. Another flake right here. And then there's more flakes. Pop, 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 pop as we go up. So we'll give you a little peek every once in a while as we're walking this morning. Back in a minute. Okay. Alrighty. Well, this was buried just like that. Right after we were on, dug it out, and we've got a blade right here. Some kind of a blade knife. Just the very tip is broken off. Until I wash it, I won't know if it's a prehistoric break or a plow break. Our experience says that way over 90% of the breaks were definitely prehistoric breaks. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, I'm digging this one out. May not be anything, but we'll see. This is a badly broken preform. Broken here, more than likely these are prehistoric breaks. But look up ahead of me. I'm going to point with my trowel. Just stay with me. Flint, 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 flake, 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 flake. Digging that one out, looking at him. Okay, here's a bigger flake over here. Checking him out. Flake, flake. You can just see them, they're scattered all the way up. Okay, we'll catch you in a minute. Okay, I just popped this thing out of the ground. Here's some more. This is how the flint, it's all over this field. I'm interested in this piece right here. Debitage. This is what was showing, this piece right here. Popped him out of the ground. I'm flipping him. This could be a platform right here. And these look like they might be flake scars of blades that were removed. Possibility of this being a core. The cores are not like the Hopewell cores. These are archaic. And we'll take a look at these later. This is what was showing. It's the right size. It's the right shape. This is the underside, and I see flint missing right here. Probably a hammerstone. Until I wash it, I won't know for sure. Okay, here we go. It's the right shape, right color, and I can see right here this whole end has been pounded off right here. I don't even have to wash it. I know already that that's a hammerstone. And it is. Look at that. The whole other end is pounded off. Wow. I can see I'm coming into a little flint field. Bottom line is, if you look, you can just see how it's loaded with flint. You have to make choices. You can't pick up every piece. There's probably 100, 200 pieces of flint, flakes right here. So you know the quality. You've been on this site or you're familiar enough with flint to know the desired flint. And you should be able to recognize that. Those get turned, if they're flakes or thin, they get picked up. You can always wash them later. Here's an example. Just loaded with flint chips. And the question everybody asks me is, well, how do you know what to turn over? Well, you walk fields a lot, and over time you learn those things. But basically right now I'm going for color recognition and actually the shape of the flint. Is it a flake or is it a point? Anybody can find a point, but the majority of everything else are not points. So the field archaeologist, the person who's really talented and gifted, takes the time, learns the tools, and is not afraid to roll things over. See ya. All right, this is what was showing right here. All this was buried. You got to turn things over. We've got part of a point right here. Cool. Okay, I see a preform in the row. I'm going to reach down and pick him up. You do too. It's right here. We got the basal, the proximal end. Tip is missing. Nice big one. So listen, I'm also looking for hammerstones. I'm also looking for cores, and I'm looking for extraordinary thin flakes, but the range is going to be big. And if you're going to learn, you got to take chance. You got to spend time with this stuff. You got to look. You got to turn stuff over. It's an investment. You're out here. Make it work. All right. The videographer just picked this up following me. This is what was showing. Look at our edge, the distal end. You can see it was worked off into a end scraper. Nice end scraper. Probably archaic. Well done. Okay, so I can see I'm coming into a flint field, so I got to get from fourth gear down to first gear, and I'm going to get into the flip everything over mode, because there's a lot of stuff here. Could be some flint hammers, not sure, but this is pretty much how I go through it, pretty quick. If they're thin and big or long, I bag them, I can wash them and look at them later. When you're in the field, you collect, and that's the bottom line. especially when you have a limited time, which today we do have limited time, so we're moving right along. But as you can see, there is a lot of flint. And what I'm using to help me here is my knowledge of what flint was the primary choices by the culture. And it's taken years to get here, but you learn from others. That's the value of having mentors. So, I'm sweating like crazy. Gotta keep walking. When you get into, I call these flint fields, where there's a lot of debitage from their work, you want to slow down and really take the time and look and not be afraid to pop things over. I recognize this as a high quality piece of flint. These get turned automatically, whether they are or aren't anything. And I also notice right here, it's got a pop mark from being in a fire. Okay, this is the end of a broken preform. And again, looking at the chips and the flakes I collect, I'll wash them off when I get home. But you can see that they're just really everywhere. And you take your time and you roll them. And here's the end of a very thin preform. Okay, proximal, distal out here. Maybe another preform right here. Yeah, the side of a broken preform right here. You know, we're in a workshop area, so you slow down and you really turn stuff over. Okay, see you in a little bit. Okay, as we are walking to complete this little ridge, as we get closer to the tree row behind us, we're hitting more preforms and we're hitting more confined little workshop areas, and I just picked this piece up. It's a final stage preform, and they actually worked it into a knife. So we will keep walking. Okay, half a gallon. I have another gallon full, several hammerstones, and this is just absolutely fantastic country. We're under the canopy of a Canadian smoke cloud, and which really is kind of making it a little bit cooler to walk today. We are out of steam and we're out of time. We want to thank you for walking along here with us. We'll get some closure back at the car, and then when things are all washed up, we'll show a few goodies from today. Thank you. See you soon. Hey, welcome back. We're going to get some closure from yesterday when we were walking this site. We cleaned up some stuff. This is going to be fast because our next video is going to be an in-depth look at the site, and then over the 2 years that we found to work the site. I'm having a hard time talking because I broke a tooth between the last video and this video. Anyway, real quick overview. This is just some of the material that we found. There's one more bag missing of stuff that came out of the field yesterday. We could have had 10 times that much, but we were trying to pull things out that look like they might be blades or flake knives. And let me show you the frustration. These are blades. Remember I said at least 2 to 1 or 3 to 1. Has to be twice as long as it is wide, or 3 times or more than it is wide. So here's 3 examples. We have our cone of percussion here. We have a complete blade, and then there's retouch on the other side. Here's another one. The cone is almost gone, but we have little concave areas chipped out that look like a spoke shaver, chipped on both sides. The tip is missing. And one more blade right here. We have the cone of percussion thinned to fit the shaft or whatever, but the rest of it is gone. These things are so numerous, and so many of you are missing these when you walk your fields. So quickly, I'm going to give you an overview. Our next video will be a follow-up. We'll talk about this stuff in depth. We'll bring frames and show you what came out of this field earlier this year. Quickly, yesterday, we noticed this piece. We saw oxidation on it. We saw that it's been fire cracked, and look at this. This is a pitted stone right here, and the pitting was done after the fire. You can see the oxidation and none right there. Hammerstones, they're so diverse. Quickly, here's our rock. When you look at it, the fracturing went off both sides from pecking and hitting. This guy has just been rounded and smoothed like crazy from all kinds of pecking. This guy, once again, the end is almost gone. Remember what I said about these hammerstones? size, shape, and content. And this is green, it's the right material, it's hand size, and this should help you. Almost all of these hammers were dug out. Yesterday, look at this fire cracked rock. I picked him up, heavily oxidized, and like, okay, it was a hammer stone. It got in a fire and exploded. And then you find hard stone, but then you find flint. And here you can see where extensive pounding went on. But I can also see where blades were removed. So the question is, which was first? Was it used as a core and then went to a hammer, or a hammer and then they tried to remove stuff? Either way, I can see that this is the result of being in a fire. And we said yesterday we had some preforms. These are preforms, pieces of preforms. Most of them are broken or they couldn't continue work, so they discarded them in a field. We have a couple preforms that are probably final stage preform. This one reminds me more of Hopewell than not. This one could very well be any culture, we don't know. But these are final stage preforms. A drill with the tip of the bit missing. A large thumb scraper right here. And then I'm going to talk to you later about rollovers. This is a gorgeous, high quality piece of flint. Here's the rollover. 2 corners are missing from usage, and we'll talk about that in our next video. And finally, here's another high quality flint off this site. Cone of percussion is right here. We go to the opposite end and we can see all kinds of use damage. We'll talk about that some more also. So lastly, toothbrush, which I won't be using a lot of lately. Anyway, remember to clean your rocks. Clean them good, because some of these I didn't even realize they were hammers until I cleaned them out really well. So kind of a clean up from yesterday. We'll get back with you. Our next video will be called Up Close and Personal, because we're going to give you a personal insight into everything that's coming off that site. So you don't want to miss our next video. Thanks for hanging out. Don't make fun of my tooth, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.